Well, g'day everybody, my name is Matt. I'm on the team here at Wavell Heights Presbyterian. Here I am at 64 Spence Road, Wavell Heights, getting ready for our return to services, which is coming up on this Sunday, the 12th of July. It's been a long time since we met together in this building, but it's finally going to happen. With the easing of restrictions in relation to COVID-19, we're able to begin to try to meet together. We're going to take some baby steps, we're going to take it slowly, and there are a lot of things to bear in mind as we do this so that we do it responsibly and safely and in an orderly way. And so the purpose of this video is to give you 15 things that you need to know in relation to the return to services here at Wavell Heights Presbyterian, okay? There are 15 things. What I'm going to do is go through them real quick, okay? So let's start at number 1. Okay, the first thing to let you know about is the new service times. We used to only have one service at 9:30 here in the building, but because of the restrictions in terms of how many people you're allowed to fit in the room, we have to go to 2 services, at least temporarily. And so we're meant to have one person per 4 square metres, and that means we can fit a maximum of 60 people in this room, including the music area, which is just here in front of me, and the entryway. That's 60 people in total. So we have to go to 2 services to accommodate everybody. And so the trial service times we're running with are 8:45 and 10 a.m. And so we'd invite you to think about which one you'd like to go to. We're wanting to especially encourage people to the earlier time because that will obviously balance out the numbers a little bit more. To let you know as well, the 8:45 service will have a few, I guess, more traditional elements to it, but both services will be shorter, about 45 to 50 minutes long. And so they're the times. That's one of the key things you need to know. Starting this Sunday, the 12th of July, 8:45 and 10 a.m. Now, the second thing to tell you about is social distancing. I've just mentioned there is 4 square metres per person to be allocated here, but also in terms of the distance between people, we're meant to have 1.5 metres between non-family members. If you've got a family unit, people who live in the same household, you can sit together, that's not a problem. But we need to make sure that we space people out so there's approximately 1.5 metres, not just to the side, but to the back as well. Now, it won't be exact and we don't want to have to go around with a tape measure, but we do need to be careful with this one because this is one of the big things that they're really pushing and that we need to watch out for. 1.5 metres between non-family members, and we need to try to be flexible in where we sit, and if we think we're sitting near somebody who's a little bit too close, we'll try to wriggle across to somewhere else. We might even have to get up and relocate ourselves just to accommodate everyone in the room, and that's going to require some Christian patience and kindness and grace, but I'm sure we'll work it out. So social distancing, very important, even though it might feel a little bit frustrating. Number 3 is hygiene. Hygiene is very important. COVID-19 is a virus and it's transmitted from person to person through close contact, through touching surfaces, through droplets in our breath and all that kind of thing. And so we have to observe basic hygiene practices. One of the things we need to make sure is that there's no kissing or hugging or handshakes between non-family members, okay? If you want to get creative and give people salutes from the distance, whatever way you want to do it, you can go right ahead and do that. But let's not shake hands or hug or kiss with people who are not in our family unit. Also, to let you know, in every usable space in our church facility, there will be hand sanitiser. So please make use of that. Or if you bring your own, by all means use that. But it'll be on the benches, it'll be everywhere you go, you'll find one of these. Please make sure you use that. Hygiene is important. Number 4 is related to hygiene, and that is, until further notice, we won't be having morning tea together. And so that's partially because of social distancing, it's partially because of the rules relating to handling food and so forth. And so we can't at this stage have mugs that we're all picking up and touching and people leaning over food and biscuits and those kinds of things. So to avoid that whole mess, we're not going to have morning tea until further notice. And also we need to let you know that because of the social distancing, obviously after the service or before the service, there's not to be any up-close mingling with non-family members. Okay, so you can say hi to people, encourage people, talk to people by all means, but the up-close way that we used to do it, we can't do that anymore. Okay, so no morning tea, no up-close mingling with non-family members, and that's one way that we can make sure that we keep everyone safe and healthy through this time. Related to that is number 5, and that is we're providing bottled water. We'd often have a cask where you could get water out of, and there'd be plastic cups. We're not doing that. If you need a drink of water, bring your own water by all means, but if you don't and you really need a drink, there'll be little bottles of water provided free on a table out there. But all we ask is if you're going to take one, the one that you touch is the one that you take, and you don't put it anywhere else. You take it with you or put the empty bottle in the recycling bin. But please bear that in mind. They'll be on the table out there. Grab one if you need it outside in the covered area. Number 6 is contact tracing. One thing the Queensland Government is asking all organisations and businesses to do is to keep a record of who comes onto their premises, and we've got to do that too. Now, if you're regular at our church, you don't need to write your name down. We'll write it down, we'll see you here, and we'll take a record of that. Let us do that. But if there is a visitor or a newcomer, we're going to make sure that they get one of these blue slips, and on the back, there will be a questionnaire and just a place for them to fill it out and put it in the brown boxes on the way out so we can get their details as well. It's all for contact tracing. It's also we know who's going where, and if anyone does come down with something, we can contact them. Okay, so that's what that's about. Number 7 is, I guess, a bit of common sense, but if you're not feeling well, if you're feeling sick or if you've got symptoms, particularly if you've got a temperature or a sore throat or a cough, if you've returned somehow from international travel in the last few weeks, we're going to ask you to please stay at home a little bit longer, at least a couple more weeks, and then consider coming back to church. Now, if you are unwell, we'd ask you particularly to go to the doctor, get checked out, make sure you are well before you return. Okay, that's a bit of common sense, but in these days where everyone's concerned about who's sick and who's getting what, we need to make sure that we're as well as we can be when we come to church. Number 8 is we are required to keep the building well ventilated, and that means we can't close up all the windows and doors and turn the heaters on. We've got to have a bit of through air. We've got to keep the place open and a little bit breezy, and in winter that's not necessarily the most pleasant thing on a Sunday morning. So we're going to ask you to please bring a jacket or a jumper. Please dress warmly. Okay, that's because we'll need to leave these doors open here at the front. We'll need to have a few windows open, over here, just to keep the air circulating just a little bit, to keep the air fresh inside. And that's another thing that we need to bear in mind. Now, number 9 is please bring your own Bible. We're putting all of the pew Bibles out the back until further notice. That's to avoid people handling them over and over again on a Sunday morning and touching services, to avoid us having to clean everything in sight. We're just going to leave the church Bibles out the back. We'd ask you to bring your own Bible. All the readings will go on the screen up there anyway, but if you'd like to read along in your own Bible or cross-reference things as we go through the service, please make sure you bring your own Bible, or you might even have it on your phone, and so you can look it up there. But just please bear that in mind. Number 10 is about keeping things clean. Obviously, we need to be hygienic. We've talked about using the hand sanitiser. But another layer of hygiene is ensuring that the place is clean, particularly in key services around the building. In order to make sure that happens, we've engaged the services of professional cleaners who will come in before the service and make sure that everything is shipshape. All right, so that's to let you know we're taking care of you guys, we're taking care of our facilities by getting cleaners in and making sure everything's nice and clean. That includes the toilets, the KidzClub room, the main church building here, and the creche room as well. The 11th thing that we need to bear in mind is about financial giving. Most people in our church family give electronically, and we really appreciate that. That makes things so much easier. For those who still give physical money or cheques or whatever it might be, we appreciate that as well. You'd be aware that we would normally pass the collection plate around on a Sunday morning. We're not going to be doing that. In these times, we think it'd just be easier if we placed our giving or your giving envelopes in the brown boxes in the entryway. You can do that on your way in or on your way out. The giving envelopes or any correspondence, anything you might want to give us can go in there, and then it will get counted up by the appropriate people and banked. But just to let you know about that, the plate will not come around. You can put your giving in there. The 12th thing you need to know about is our COVID-safe wardens. COVID-safe wardens. Now, we've been required to appoint people who can just keep an eye on our compliance with the restrictions that are still being placed on us. A part of our responsibility to make sure we're doing these things is appoint some people just to keep an eye on things, just to shepherd us along, just to help us so that we make sure we're doing the right thing and that we're not sort of missing anything. And so we have appointed Megan, we've appointed Steve, one of our elders, and also Sam, our associate pastor. Those three guys, including myself, will be keeping an eye on things. Now, if any of them or myself say, look, would you mind moving over here, or could we do it this way? Please don't be offended by that or think you've done anything wrong. We're just there to make sure that everything's being sort of done properly and in an orderly way so that we meet the requirements and we gather together safely and worship God and learn from Him in the Bible, knowing that we've done everything that we possibly can do to meet our responsibilities. Okay, so COVID-safe wardens have been appointed, and you'll see them in action in the coming weeks. Number 13 on the list is CRECHE. We have a limitation on how many people can fit in the CRECHE room. It used to be the smaller room to this side, behind that wall over there, and now it's on this side, the slightly bigger room out there. And there's a maximum of 5 people at any one time in that room. Okay, so we've got to do our best to try to keep some sort of distancing there. There is hand sanitiser out there and tissues, the whole kit and caboodle. But we just ask for the parents of little ones, bear in mind that there is limitations there in relation to the CRECHE room. So 5 people is the maximum. Also, let you know, we'd often have a little container with toys over here to one side. We're not able to have that out as well. So if you've got little ones that would enjoy a few toys, maybe bring a few with you when you come to church. Okay, so that's let you know about CRECHE and what we need to do about the little ones. Number 14, we're nearly there, is about KidzClub and why. KidzClub will not be meeting on our first Sunday together on the 12th of July, but the plan is to restart KidzClub the following Sunday. So not this Sunday the 12th, but Sunday the 19th, and then KidzClub should be back on track. In relation to our why youth, we are still pulling together our plan. There's a few things to sort out there. Because of damage to the back hall, we've lost our youth space out there. So we're just recalculating a few things. Please, if you've got teenagers, bear with us while we work out what we're able to do there. Okay, so that's kids and youth. And the final thing, number 15 on the list, is to say, let's smile. Let's be glad people. Let's be thankful and appreciate all the many blessings that we've had and still have and will have into the future. It's been a difficult time. It's been a very strange time for all of us. We want to thank you for your patience and your understanding during this time. And we are thankful to God for the fact that we can begin to return to some normality now. Okay, but just let's smile, let's appreciate, let's be patient, let's work with it, let's work through it together, and let's go slowly and be patient and gracious with each other as we begin to meet together to worship God and to learn from His Word. And so, look, I'm really looking forward to seeing you at some point, either this Sunday or in the future, 8:45 or 10 a.m. If you need to go back and watch any of these pointers, please do so, but you've got your 15 things you need to know. I know it's been quite a bit to get through, but thanks for being patient and making it to the end of the video. I just want to say God bless, and we hope to see you soon.